Welcome back, y'all. Welcome back. So I have another question from a viewer. The question is, I don't have it in front of me to read it. Oh wait, I can pull it up. Oh, girl, you can pull it up to read it. Okay, so the question is, let me go back. The question is, what is the question? Do I have it? Oh, the question is, how can you help other people avoid domestic violence relationships? And the individual, her and her sister grew up in a home where their father, who was an alcoholic, was physically abusive to their mother. And she keeps finding herself in relationships with men that also end up being physically abusive. And her mom told her that it could be like a curse, like a generational curse. So I want to talk about that a little bit. First, I want to talk about family patterns, right? There is a tool that marriage and family therapists use called genograms, and it is very helpful in identifying patterns, especially familiar patterns and dynamics that pass down from generation to generation, right? And so it sounds like in her family there is a pattern of abuse that takes place to women from men, right? And so that's important because what that means is that, and then she also stated that she saw the physical abuse. The physical abuse would take place in front of them and also in private. And now the parents are no longer together. So one thing that is important to understand is that if you have grown up in this space, there are some things that you have kind of normalized, right? They feel normal to you because this is what you're used to. Although you don't necessarily want those things in your life, you may have a level of normalcy concerning it. So when you get into relationships, things that are red flags may feel familiar to you, may feel like home actually to you, right? And so you're not picking up on the flags that that maybe you would if you had not grown up in that environment, right? So one of the things that I would suggest is that in looking back at those relationships, look back and assess, what were the red flags that I missed? What were the things? Because a lot of times you get into the relationship and you're like, oh crap, this is not like, this is not what I want. But all along things have been happening that were building up to that space. And so first identifying, reflecting on the past, reflecting on those relationships, reflecting on things that you can identify as flags that you ignored, and then asking yourself why. What was my perception at the time when that was happening? And then once you understand what you were interpreting that to be, then asking yourself, well, why did I get that perception? Where did that come from? Because once you begin to understand how you were seeing things, the lens that you were seeing things through, you can then begin to change your perception. So then going forward, it's like, we get a new prescription. We got, like, my glasses. I have one prescription and I could see some stuff. Some stuff might be like still blurry in the background, but when I go to the eye doctor and I have him check my eyes and he fixes that prescription, now I could see some stuff more clearly. That's not getting past me no more. That's not blurry back there. That's real clear to me. And so you want to get to a place where that becomes clearer to you so you can see that flag right away, right? Because a lot of times in those spaces there are boundaries that are crossed, there's controlling behavior that is happening, and you want to be able to fine tune your lenses, your vision, so that you can more accurately see the signs that are there. And so once you begin to do that, then you have a new perception, you have a new understanding. You can set new boundaries, you can set new indicators. Oh, this is an indicator for me. And you can watch differently, you can observe differently. And so it's very empowering because it allows you to see things in a way that are not feeling as normal, recognizing that you didn't grow, you grew up in an environment that kind of cultivated a certain space. And as a result of that, you're a product of that, right? You're a product of that. And so things that maybe would alarm someone else may not necessarily alarm you, because you were used to maybe a little bit more aggressive behavior. You know, you were used to a little bit more controlling, and there were some aspects within that dynamic, especially when you're talking about parents, right? There's some aspects and there's some things that you love about those individuals, even though you don't love the behavior. And so it can get very confusing when you feel a sense of familiarity to a parent or to something that does have negative feelings but also has positive feelings, right? And so that's my advice, my tip for that. Definitely, you know, I'm an advocate for therapy. You want to be able to process a lot more and begin to take your time and allow yourself to heal from the wounds that have been caused as a result of the things that you experienced and the things that you saw. And yeah, so I hope that helps y'all.